All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the one and only Wrestling Otaku channel. Of course, your personification of excellence on YouTube and YWC. We're the best reviews wrestling and your three-time YWC channel of the year. And I'm back here. It is late night, approaching 2 a.m. here, so it is officially Thursday, September the 11th of 2025. You know, I guess ominous day. September 11th, but it is what it is on that. But anyway, so hope y'all have had a good week so far. Excuse me, as we're approaching the weekend here, and we're a couple days removed from me going to my first ever Ravens game, which will be on Sunday afternoon. Ravens play at home versus the Browns in their home opener, and hope to God that it's not as dreadful as that fucking week one game was. Y'all should know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I wanted to go ahead and do this video here. Hope you guys have been enjoying the short videos and the content that I've been posting here on the channel. And once again, as always, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I appreciate everybody for helping this channel get to 1,000 subs on YouTube. Very much appreciate it. Love to see it. I'm currently sitting at 1,008 as last I checked. So yeah, keep it up, man. Keep up the subs, keep up the likes, share this content, share this channel with everybody you know and all that kind of stuff. And spread the word that the Wrestling Otaku channel is back in business on YouTube. So anyway, wanted to go ahead and make this video, a little impromptu video. I actually wasn't planning on really making any content tonight, but I caught wind of a news story, and when I first saw this headline, I knew I had to talk about it. I figured better now than later. So yeah, I just have to give my thoughts on this right now because again, while it's still fresh on my mind. So this was reported earlier today, or I guess I should say yesterday now, because again, it's past midnight. But this was reported as of 5 hours ago. I guess right before Dynamite, which, by the way, watched, of course, Wednesday's episode of Dynamite. Pretty solid show. And going into, we're about another week or so away, a little over a week away until All Out, which was on September 20th. So that's about another 9 days from now. So you're looking forward to that. And be looking forward also to my predictions video for that. But anyway, so this was reported as of 5 hours ago. And this was courtesy of Wrestling Inc. And I've seen multiple news sites now that have basically confirmed this as well. And they've also reported on this as well. And that is the location for WWE's WrestleMania 43 has been basically announced or leaked. And it was reported, even though it hasn't been officially announced yet by WWE, but it is being basically spread, or the rumor is spreading, or it is confirmed, or sources are confirming that WrestleMania 43 will officially be held in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Yes, that's right. For the first time ever, WrestleMania will be held in Saudi Arabia. You heard me right. You heard me right. You can go check this for yourself. You could go to any wrestling site, go to any news site, Google it. Okay, this is a legit report. So there have been rumors as of, even you could say a couple months ago, of Saudi Arabia being in the works or being in the conversation to host a WrestleMania. Of course, WWE and Saudi Arabia, the Saudi government, have had this deal. They've had this every year. WWE's done multiple shows in Saudi Arabia. They had a Royal Rumble there, or the greatest Royal Rumble, quote unquote. They had their version of a King of the Ring tournament, and so on and so forth. And so WWE has had dealings with the Saudi government for just about almost 10 years, I'd say now, since 2018 is when they started going over there. And so they've had a somewhat lengthy business relationship, despite people being adamantly against WWE having anything to do with a borderline terrorist government. But of course, WWE doesn't see that. The last thing WWE's worried about is another country's reputation or morality or anything like that. All they care about is getting that fucking green, getting that fucking blood money. And now it has taken another step, or WWE has taken the next step, I should say, in their business partnership, and that is the fact that Saudi Arabia is now going to host their own WrestleMania. And no, it's not a extension, or it's not a separate WrestleMania. There was conversation that, Saudi is going to hold one WrestleMania and then they were going to do another WrestleMania, or their main WrestleMania, and Saudi was going to have its own separate WrestleMania. No, WrestleMania 43, an official numbered WrestleMania. WrestleMania 43 in 2027 will take place in Saudi Arabia, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. To me, this is baffling. I mean, it shouldn't really be surprising to anybody. Look who we're talking about here. It's WWE. All right? Especially this current era of WWE. Like, this doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I mean, the fact that Saudi Arabia, of all the places in the world to host a WrestleMania, outside of the United States, if they want to, I'm sure, they've, in the past, they've done WrestleManias, like, in Canada, a few, they've had one in Toronto, I remember. I'm not sure if they've had any, I'm not sure if they've had WrestleMania anywhere, like, outside of Toronto. I know, again, they've had, a couple in Canada, but most of them were in the United States. And this would be the first WrestleMania outside of off of American soil. And it's going to be, of all places in the world to host WrestleMania, Saudi Arabia. Think about that for a second. Let that kind of sink in. Let that kind of sink in. Saudi Arabia is going to host a WrestleMania before the UK hosts a WrestleMania, and the UK has been pushing to host WrestleMania for years. There was big legitimate talks of the UK, specifically London, hosting a WrestleMania, and the UK hasn't really hosted a big WWE event since SummerSlam back in 1992, I believe, at Wembley Stadium. And the fact that Saudi Arabia is going to host the WrestleMania before the fucking UK does, or before Canada does again, is really, to me, quite astonishing. But it just goes to show you what WWE's mindset is. It just goes to show you what WWE's priorities are. They're all about that profit. They're all about that fucking green. They're all about that blood money, as I said. And I'm personally hearing this news, again, when it officially, WWE has not officially announced it yet, but it's all but confirmed. Multiple sites are reporting on this. It's basically been confirmed by the Saudi government themselves. They apparently have, confirmed it, or they've, spoken on it already. But when this news spreads of WrestleMania 43 being held in Saudi Arabia, I personally wonder what those UK fans, the WWE fans in the UK, think of it. The fact that Saudi Arabia is going to hold a WrestleMania before the UK does. For that matter, I'm wondering what the people of New Orleans think about this. Because if you remember, New Orleans was supposed to host next year's WrestleMania, WrestleMania 42. Remember that? Remember, they had it all announced. People were making plans. People were they had travel packages, all the usual shit that WWE puts out when they announce a WrestleMania. They had travel packages and all kinds of stuff, and people were making plans, for hotels and flights and all that shit. And then months later, WWE basically pulls out and says, "Oh no, we're not going to do a WrestleMania in New Orleans." They basically changed the plans, and they said, "Oh no, we're gonna do WrestleMania in Las Vegas again." Because early this year, WrestleMania 41 was held in Las Vegas, and they made all-time high profits for a WrestleMania. So basically, they decide that they want to go back there for WrestleMania 42 next year. So they basically pulled out of New Orleans, and they're going to host WrestleMania again in Las Vegas because they want that fucking money. Because that's all they care about. They want some more of that Las Vegas fucking green. And the same thing applies to WrestleMania 43. They're going to hold it in Saudi Arabia for the first time because they know that the fucking Crown Prince is going to pay top dollar for that shit. Regardless of morals, regardless of anything else, you're going to hold the first ever WrestleMania off of American soil, outside of North America, and it's going to be in a country like Saudi Arabia. Think about that for a second. Think about the significance of that. You got to be wondering what people in the UK think. You got to be wondering what people in fucking New Orleans think about this shit. They cannot be happy. I'm betting you right now they are not happy. They are not happy about this. In fact, I'm willing to bet that they're pretty pissed off. But once again, that blood money talks, doesn't it? That fucking blood money talks, doesn't it, WWE? It's like if this announcement right here does not show you and does not basically tell you what WWE's priorities are, I don't know what to fucking tell you. You clearly are not looking at you clearly are not seeing the picture here. You clearly are not. You clearly are not following what's going on. All WWE cares about is their fucking profits and their fucking money and how much fucking shit they can get out of somebody. That's all they care about. They could care less about fucking morality. They could care less about the fans. They could care less about making people happy, making the fans happy, putting on a quality product every week. They could care less about any of that shit. All they care about is their fucking profits and their fucking money and how much fucking money they can take from people. That's all they care about. And this right here is a fucking telltale sign of that. So wow, WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia. Wow. Just wow. Holy shit. Really shouldn't be surprised. I mean, it was literally out there. Like, there were literal reports saying that Saudi Arabia was, like, in the running. You know, they were, like, a heavy contender, like, to be in the running to get a WrestleMania. Well, now it's officially confirmed. There you go, folks. More, an even bigger sign, an even bigger indicator of the kind of what WWE's priorities are. And it just goes to show you what kind of company they're becoming. So, to all these people who are these die-hard fucking WWE fans who seem to think that this company is the land of milk and honey, and who seem to think this company is worth fucking praise and worth fucking spending, you know, your hard-earned money on. Think about, like, look at things like this. And you really have to reconsider. You really have to fucking look at the bigger picture. Okay, take off the rose-colored glasses, take off the fanboy fucking glasses, and see this company for what it is. A greedy, money-hungry sham of a wrestling promotion. Simple and that. Simple as that. Simple and plain. So, there you go, man. I don't really know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say other than, there you go. You know, there you go. WWE showing their hand. WWE proving that they're a greedy, fucking morally bankrupt, piece of shit fucking company. You're going to have WrestleMania, your biggest event of your calendar year, be in a fucking country that is known for doing shady shit. And that's who you want to do business with. And this is the company that people are saying, oh, is the best wrestling company in the world. And all that bullshit. Fuck out of here. Jesus. Thank God. Thank God for AEW, man. That's all I got to say. Thank God for AEW. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say for that. So, there you go, folks. You wanted your WrestleMania? You're going to have your WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. There you go. WrestleMania 43, 2027. Boy, I'm real curious to see how many people actually take that trip over there. And I'm not just talking about the wrestlers either. I'm talking about, like, fans. Fans here in the States. You really going to want to take a trip over there for that WrestleMania? You think the prices are high now. Just wait till you see the prices for that shit. I mean, just the fucking plane trip alone. Never mind the fucking hotels and amenities, whatever they have over there. Yeah, good luck with that one. Good luck with that. Good luck going over to that country. Good luck getting a fucking plane. Good luck with those fucking travel packages for that shit. If any of you were even going to bother going over there. Like, holy shit. Holy shit. What a fucking, Jesus Christ, man. That's WWE for you. That's WWE. They don't give a shit about anything but one thing, and that's their fucking money, and that's their fucking pockets, and that's their fucking bank account, and that fucking green. That's it. That's all I care about. I don't know what more proof you need. So anyway, that's pretty much all I gotta say for that. So just gonna go ahead and conclude this video here. If there are any more updates to this, I'll go ahead and do a follow-up video or separate video, whatever have you. But yeah, so you pretty much should know my opinion by now. What a morally bankrupt, shitty fucking company. Like, it's just real shit. Anyway, that's pretty much all I gotta say for this. So thank you for watching. Till next time, Wrestling Otaku, I'm out. See you guys later. Have a good night. Peace.